Good morning again.
Good morning again to you, sir. A couple things to start off with. What can you tell me your thoughts on the budget from the Senate that was passed, that was released the other day?
Well, we released a budget. I think it's really a good one. It's about $43 billion. Imagine that, to run the state operating budget for 2 years. That's about 1/500th of what Mason County spent. But that's a budget that went through the Ways and Means Committee last night, and I'm not on the committee. I'm on transportation. I got home, turned the TV on about 10:30. They were still working, so I'm assuming that it did get moved on to the Rules Committee. We'll move that out this morning and have it on the floor. The governor is going to California and then to the United Nations in New York. So when the governor is out of the state, the lieutenant governor cannot preside. So this will be the first time I've ever presided over the passage of the budget.
Oh, wow.
So, kind of looking forward to that. And it's always interesting and different perspective when you're on the rostrum.
Yeah. I know that you participate in the majority coalition, mostly made up by Republicans, and you in the Democrat Party. But did you have any work in with this budget as part of the majority coalition?
Yes, I did. I made sure that we got an appropriation last night in an amendment that the chair did for me for our shellfish growers, which will help them with a position in the second year of the biennium to help all those that grow shellfish in our communities around the state, and I think that's going to help a lot. Of course, we haven't released our capital budget yet, which is that will come out here in another couple of days, and I think we'll have some real exciting news in the capital budget. Just mention another thing in the transportation budget. We went through that yesterday and passed it to the Rules Committee. We'll have that on the floor very soon. And in there's a provision that when we carry over dollars from one biennium to another, there'll be 14 projects that the Department of Transportation can consider for moving up in the queue, and that one of those will be the Belfair bypass.
Oh, interesting.
Not for sure that we're going to start a little bit early on the design of that and the construction, but it's a possibility. So that was the best I could do this year. So those are just three things I could think about. But there should be some good things in the general fund budget, which we'll adopt today, that certainly will help to lower the property taxes for Mason County residents. And that's the big issue, of course, is the McCleary decision and finding full funding for basic education. That is the trademark issue of this legislature. I know that Drew and Dan, our two representatives, are having a town hall meeting tonight.
Uh-huh.
If we finish on time, I'll be there. Hopefully we get out by 6 o'clock, but we're not going to run the budget, general operating budget, until 3:30 today.
Okay.
And usually there's a lot of amendments, so hopefully I get done and hustle over to Olympic College and get to meet with some people tonight.
Well, it should be great. It would be great to see if you can make it, but of course we understand if you're out there making the votes and doing the business. As a member of the Democrat Party, do you have any idea what the House Democrats will be unveiling in their budget next week?
You know, they have been reluctant and actually refused to put a funding source on their budget. So I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to what the other body is doing because they can't pay for what they're talking about. It's kind of outrageous that you want to sell a product to the public, but you don't tell them how much it's going to cost. And they've rolled out some ideas: a carbon tax, taxes on services like beauty shops, barbers, attorneys, you name it. That's not going to fly, I believe. There's other proposals, taxes again on water, which is water bottles that the public has turned down many times, and even a capital gains tax, which really is an income tax.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't been serious about the funding source. So hopefully, when we send this over to them, they'll have a full package and consider at least all Senate is going to send across to the rotunda.
Well, it seems like things are going to start be moving quickly. I think technically the end of the 105-day session is a month from today or so,
Right.
April 23rd. And I know that we're not even anywhere close to seeing all the budgets out there on the floor. But is the mood in the legislature such that thinking that perhaps we could get out on time? That's a tough one, I know, but...
Yeah, no, I think it's very positive. As you say, I think this is the 75th or 76th day, and we're on schedule. I mean, the budgets will be passed. Our budget will be passed across to the House today, and hopefully the House will be doing the same thing to send us a budget. So then the real negotiations start. You've got two documents. We'll have about 6 people in the room from each side that'll be negotiating, and the governor will be hopefully in the mix as well because he's got to sign the document.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm encouraged. I've been here. This is my 27th 27th year, and I've seen years that have been much worse on the revenue side, and that's the good news. We have almost $2.3 billion more to spend this biennium than we did last biennium. So really, there's no reason for new taxes, and we can live within our means just like the families out there. So that's encouraging. We've had years where we had deficits of $6 or $8 billion.
Yeah.
I remember back in, I think it was 2003, we had to pass 51 bills to implement the budget. I mean, those were very tough to get the votes for. We don't have that kind of situation, obviously, when you have a good surplus. And we also, not only do we budget for 2 years, but we have to write a budget that's sustainable for 4 years out. And that's a big change.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I've worked on very hard with the coalition to give our state more stability instead of this boom and bust kind of thing with our budgets.
Well, it's always nice talking to you, Tim, and hopefully the stars align. You're able to come out to Olympic College Shelton tonight and be with Drew and Dan as well, 35th District Representatives at Olympic College this evening. If not, then we'll have to get you to have one of these town halls some other time.
Oh, sure will. Thanks a lot.
All right, Tim, have a good one.